Midpoint rule and sigma notation. Estimate the integral from x equals 1 to x equals 2 of e to the negative x squared dx using the midpoint rule with n equals 4. We're trying to estimate the area under the curve e to the negative x squared above the x-axis from x equals 1 to x equals 2 using 4 intervals, 4 rectangles with the midpoint rule. The first step is to divide the interval a comma b, in this case 1 comma 2, into 4 subdivisions or 4 intervals because n equals 4. We then use the midpoint of each of the interval to determine the height of the rectangle. We then use the height to draw the rectangles. We find the area of each of the 4 rectangles. The total area under the curve from 1 to 2 is estimated by the sum of the 4 areas of the 4 rectangles. This process is called the midpoint rule. The width of each rectangle is still delta x, which is b minus a over n, or 2 minus 1 over 4, which is 1 over 4. The height are determined by the midpoint. Thus, the midpoint xi are the midpoint of each of the subintervals. To obtain these midpoints xi, we take the interval a comma b, in this case 1 comma 2, and we divide it into n subinterval, in this case n equals 4. The x values are 1, 5 over 4, 6 over 4, 7 over 4, and then 8 over 4. The midpoints of these is the average of each of the two endpoints. The average of 1 and 5 over 4 is 9 over 8. Thus, the first midpoint that we will use is 9 over 8. The second midpoint is the average of 5/4 and 6/4, which is 5.5 over 4 or 11 over 8. The next midpoint is therefore 13 over 8. The next midpoint is 15 over 8. Notice that we do not have to average the two numbers every time. We know that the delta x is 1 over 4, but 1 over 4 is the same as 2 over 8. Once we determine the first midpoint, which is 9 over 8, we simply add the same delta x each time. 9 over 8 plus 2 over 8 is 11 over 8. 11 over 8 plus another delta x, 13 over 8. 13 over 8 plus another delta x, which is 2 over 8, which is 15 over 8. Thus, the midpoints are 9 over 8, 11 over 8, 13 over 8, and 15 over 8. No need to use decimal in this case because we will use a calculator to evaluate the heights anyway. The corresponding heights are e to the negative 9 over 8 squared, e to the negative 11 over 8 squared, e to the negative 13 over 8 squared, e to the negative 15 over 8 squared. Thus, the area is the sum of 4 of these area, but each of these has the same width of 1/4, so we would factor out 1/4 and we just simply add the height. The heights are e to the negative 9 over 8 squared plus e to the negative 11 over 8 squared plus e to the negative 13 over 8 squared plus e to the negative 15 over 8 squared. Notice that we only add the heights, but these heights are being multiplied by 1 over 4. The height times the width will give us the area. Put this in a calculator. We should get 0.133522 rounded to 6 decimal places.